What?
Someone said they were
What do they have?
Jessica too,
Has what?
espalda.
I'd like to call to order the regular board meeting at 6:02 p.m. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Gentry.
Here.
Mr. Guerin.
Here.
Mr. Troy.
Here.
Mr. Quagliano. Mrs. Melendi.
Here.
Mrs. Maiorino.
Here.
Mr. Craddy.
Here.
Okay. First item up is closed session. I will make a motion to go into closed session as outlined on the agenda.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Roll call.
Or roll call?
Roll call.
We need a roll call.
It's a roll call vote. One by one.
Oh, yes. Roll call, please.
Mr. Craddy.
Aye.
Mrs.
Yes. Sorry.
Mrs. Melendi.
Yes.
Mr. Guerin.
Yes.
Mr. Gentry.
Yes.
Mr. Troy.
Yes.
Mrs. Maiorino.
Yes.
Mr. Craddy.
Yes.
Mr. Quagliano.
All right. We are in closed session.
with the staff.
Good evening, everybody. As I begin, I'm going to actually have our state stamps come on in, and they're going to actually line the wall. So, perfect. As they are coming in, I am super thrilled and excited to be able to bring in this team for recognition today. We have 19 young people who, through just a very challenging time in our world and definitely within our school, hit a level of perseverance that has been unmatched. And the adversity that they have been able to face to bring home some great hardware, our second team state champ trophy that we'll probably display in our display case. But I'm not going to steal Mr. Brown and Ms. Teeter's show, but I am going to call them up because these two individuals have led these young people in a virtual world and have been able to coach them and to work with them. They are, with all of the publications that we have, the voice that goes out to our community and into the mailboxes of everyone, which was a little different this year just due to the pandemic, and just hearing the great word out in the community and people being in tune to what's going on within our building. And then Raider Nation News just going to an entirely different level, even since I started here 3 years ago. And that's under the leadership of Mr. Dennis Brown and Ms. Lauren Teeter. So I'm going to have them come up and just want to say thank you and congratulations to them. And thank you for your dedication and the hard work that you put in, countless hours, weekends, sometimes 7 days a week to get a publication out or a newscast up and running and ready to go. So Ms. Teeter and Mr. Brown, come on up.
Good evening, everybody. Well, we finally did it. For those of you who are new to this whole thing, the journalism team at the high school has been competing in the IHSA state tournament since 2006. Over the years, the team has won 9 sectional titles, finished 3rd in state twice, and 2nd in state 3 times. Back in 2013, we lost the state championship in the final event by 1 point. Thanks, Manuka. We've been close, but never quite crossed the line. In 2021, members of this team this year finally brought it home, and Lauren Teeter and I could not be prouder of them and what they've done. This all started back in March when Lauren and I asked our students who would like to be part of the team, and the kids who volunteered put in hours of work preparing for the virtual sectional tournament held on April 10th at the high school. There they won their 10th sectional title in 15 years with a total of 79 points and advanced 15 of 18 events they entered. The individual winners included, and if you guys could come on up, Kate Alvarado, first place in broadcast news. Sarah Gebka, first place, editorial cartooning. Amelia Posniak, first place, editorial writing. Alex Hartleb, first place, newspaper design. Sydney Laput, first place, photo storytelling. Jacob Habel and Paige D. Simone, first place, video news. Nick Pratt, first place, yearbook layout. JC Sola, second place, headline writing. Maggie Kerwin, second place, infographics. Nikki Darnell, third place, advertising. Ellie Armstrong, third place, copy editing. Alyssa Boring, third place, sports writing. Lauren Courtney, third place, yearbook copywriting. Ella Hantanosis and Kylie Pomazak, third place, yearbook theme. Natalie Vonderheide, third place in feature writing. Rain Zilch, fifth place in review writing. And Megan Curry, sixth place in news writing. Soon after that, Lauren and I sat down with each of the team members who advanced to state and went through their first efforts, coaching them so they could improve the state competition, which was held April 24th. This paid off. On April 29th, the IHSA held a virtual awards ceremony and announced the winners of each of the 18 individual categories. Now, like a dork, I like to keep score, so I have a general idea of how things are going as things are going. And Stevenson and Prospect were having a very good day. Many of their students were placing, but in the end, the members of this team were named the state champions, winning only the 2nd IHSA state team title in Huntley High School's history. In doing this, they scored 36 points as a team, which is the most points any team has scored in the state finals in the 15 years that this tournament has been held. These kids placed in 10 of the 15 events they entered. And by the way, when I was here 2 years ago, we had 5 kids place and we had second place. 10 of them placed this time. 3 of them won individual state championships, bringing the number of journalism team members who have won state titles to 12 since 2006. The students who placed at state are the following: Sydney Laput, state champion in photo storytelling. Ellie Armstrong, state champion in copy editing. Sarah Gepka, state champion in editorial cartooning. Nick Pratt, second place, yearbook layout. Maggie Kerwin, third place, infographics. Alex Hartlib, fifth place, newspaper design. Jake Habel and Paige DeSimone, fifth place in video news. Amelia Posniak, fifth place in editorial writing. Natalie Vonderheide, fifth place in feature writing. And Kate Alvarado, sixth place, broadcast news. As always, none of this could happen without the support of Dr. Beelan, the administration at the high school, Dr. Rowe, the administration here at the district office, and you, the members of the Board of Education. Working in a district as supportive as ours gives Lauren and me an advantage that few programs have, and we are so grateful for all that you have done for us. And we're so happy to finally reward that support and all that trust by bringing this championship back to the high school. Thank you so much.
Things to add. I would like to echo Dennis's sentiments in thanking you all for your support. And he's 100% accurate in stating that we could not be prouder of the students that are behind us. All of the publication students work so hard to create pieces of history for their fellow student body, and it's wonderful to see them recognized for their hard work and their talents. It's pretty cool to be a pub student, and actually some of your kids have been them, because essentially your peers and their families are reading or watching and sometimes paying for your homework. So with that actually sometimes comes critique. So that's the tough part. So it's actually pretty nice to have the opportunity to pause that process and participate in these competitions where you're asking for that critique and you're succeeding so greatly. So it's a refreshing reminder that you guys are all so awesome. I know we say that to you all the time, but now other people are saying how awesome you are too. And now you can say that you've recorded Huntley history and you've also become Huntley history. So that's pretty awesome. And lastly, I wanted to take this moment to publicly congratulate and thank Dennis. I became the yearbook advisor 7 years ago, and he's helped me grow tremendously. And I'm not really a competitive person by nature, but when sectionals and state come around and he gets so excited, he makes me competitive, and so it's pretty cool to feed off of that energy. So it's been an honor and a privilege to be his sidekick for this win. So thank you.
If we could, we made T-shirts, and we'd like to give one to Dr. Rowe and one of the state championship medals, and Dr. Beelan, you get one too. So again, none of this happens without you guys, so appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well done.
Hi. Thank you so much. We'll see you at that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Great work. Yeah, we're gonna have it all together.
Congratulations.
We're gonna get a picture. Some of you all are gonna have to see out front.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll say hi to you after.
He's very happy.
Well, I don't see
You needed a break. He left for.
Should we stop? Okay, wait.
Mr. Brown.
We're waiting for it.
Stand up here.
Down a chair, get on your shoulders. We've been bothered. There we go.
You want to kneel on the chair?
One of my photos.
Parents, go ahead. Perfect. While parents are taking pictures, I do want to let you know that we will be celebrating our state champs publicly next Wednesday in the square. We will do in the Huntley Square, where we will officially present them the trophy, as well as put medals, the IHSA state medals around their neck, and then be able to celebrate over at Parkside. And we want to thank them for providing dinner for our young people. So we're excited about that. That's next Wednesday at 4 o'clock in the Huntley Square, and we'll blast it out on all of our social media. But and also to shout out to the parents. I know that just being able to support them, especially during this time, and letting them work late hours and get these publications out means the world to them, to know that you are there to support them. So thank you all for what you do, and this is just a great week of celebration. So
Congratulations.
You guys got it? I'm about to forget.
oh yeah.
Like siblings,
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah, we're just gonna be out in the Huntley. Yeah, that's fine. Yep.
How are you?
Dr. Rowe, how are you? Good to see you. I thought I saw you back there. Yeah, I was. Have a good one. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Thanks for having us.
Hi. See ya.
Hey, everybody, we're gonna have you all step out and leave right here in right now.
We go, can I say hello to Dr. Rowe? No. One more. Two of them. Perfect.
Thank you all.
You all can have a seat in the chairs. The chairs fill up outside too. Thanks. Great, how are you? How you doing? I'm great, I'm great.
Okay. Next item up is the competition theater team. Yes. Dr. Breland?
So the team that's coming in right now is our competition theater team under the leadership of Ms. Christine DiFrancesco. And these group of young people, let me tell you, this is a special group. They have had the ability to work in some crazy circumstances, and what is awesome about their ability to work is that with the new Black Box Theater, and just them seeing it on Zoom for so long, and now being able to come and utilize it for what it is has definitely been a great deal for them to be able to see it, but also too to be able to see their work come to light. And now that we're sharing our work out with the community and with the state and with the world. Just their ability to take their talents to a whole nother level with just the facilities, but also too under some great leadership of Ms. D. And the relationship that these students have with Ms. D is absolutely awesome. Like when I say a family and truly a family, the reason that they get to where they are and reach the heights that they have reached is because they trust each other, they lean on each other, and you can tell with some of the faces that I see that they're going to be missing some seniors here real soon, but this is just definitely a great group. It's definitely well deserving of the recognition and the accomplishment. So huge congratulations to you all. And also, too, congratulations to the parents who have supported them day in and day out, especially with a lot of the shows and the late nights and the rehearsals and so forth, and saying lines at the dinner table. And so we want to thank you all as well for your support. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Ms. D up.
Good evening. I have a real brief story to tell you. In March of 2020, a number of Huntley High School students and myself were a week away from taking a production to IHSA competitive theater sectional. We felt good. We felt optimistic. We felt like we were going to win. And over the course of the next few days, we watched that sort of dissipate in front of our eyes. We were shocked. The students were, of course, devastated. We put these shows in a box, and we were considering them sort of an unfinished symphony of ours that we're never going to sort of see the light of day again. We hunkered down, and we got through quarantine, and slowly, we were able to come back to school and be with each other again, and eventually back to the stage. Dr. Reeland, Mr. Kempf, and Ms. Woods made what seemed impossible possible, the remounting of these two pieces. The shows were revamped, recast, and restructured, all in our big, beautiful new black box. Thank you very much for that. And we really christened that black box with this experience. We complied with all the COVID protocol, and I watched these kids come back to life with this show. After an early rehearsal, a senior kid said to me, "This feels normal." Sorry. These kids not only did the impossible, they transposed these shows into COVID-safe pieces, and they made them better. They poured their hearts, their souls, and their talent into them. We swept sectionals, and we went to state. The Disappearance of Daniel Hand took 6th place in the state for drama. And Metamorphoses took 4th place in a category, group interpretation, that we have never even broken. All of this while being remote and masked and not being able to touch each other and even just be in close proximity. But we wanted to thank our administrators and Dr. Rowe and the entire board for allowing us to have the chance to represent Huntley High School and for your continued support of the theater and the fine arts here in the district. Thank you so much.
Congratulations. Great work.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great work.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you. Great job.
Congratulations.
Guys ready for graduation?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
I know, it's a backup because we,
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great work.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Congratulations. Kids early.
My mom.
What's up the next one?
Thank you.
I'm gonna have you all step up and create 2 rows. I'm short. Yeah, you all can come a little bit forward. I'm gonna move this out the way.
Yeah, you don't get off that easy.
I was framing them up. Perfect, parents, have at it.
Camera.
Look at the center, then you'll be fine.
Remember, you're on stage. Okay, everyone, look at the. Every photo.
Hi, Mom.
Congratulations, guys. They would be so.
Mrs. Riley, thank you for nice to finally meet you. I know you had a long way. Appreciate everything. I always love hearing
Yeah.
All right. Very, very great stuff to try to follow up with the rest of the board meetings. Next item up is, public comment. I do have 2, public comment. I will draw in random order. Forgive me if I don't quite get the name here, but, Johanna Guerrero. Did I do okay?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, we are together, so it's okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
First and foremost, I'd like to thank you for allowing us to be here tonight and such a beautiful night with so many great accomplishments. In advance, I apologize that I have to, I've been compelled, we both have been compelled to come before you to provide a public statement as to some recent experiences we've had to deal and endure with District 158 Special Education Program. With that being said, well, good evening, and again, thank you for allowing us to be here tonight. Our names are Joanna and Marco Guerrero. We are here to speak on behalf of our daughter, Isabela Guerrero. Isabela is currently attending 2nd grade at Chesek Elementary. Isabela is a smart, beautiful little girl who loves the animals. Isabela was born without a left ear, and therefore, she is deaf on her left ear as well. Since our last IEP eligibility meeting on January 16, 2020, District 158 stated that based on Isabela's academic performance, Isabela would no longer qualify for special education services under IDEA. District 158 stated that they would meet Isabela's needs under a 504 plan. Due to District 158 imposing this decision upon our family, we were compelled to seek legal counsel. The case went to mediation, and an agreement was reached to conduct independent evaluations for our daughter Isabella. Since March 12, 2020, when mediation took place, District 158 has violated our rights on numerous occasions. In February of 2021, we requested to have an IEP meeting to discuss a schedule modification because Isabella was experiencing headaches and auditory fatigue during remote learning. Our pediatrician provided a letter stating that in order to stop Isabella's headaches and auditory fatigue, the district should provide Isabella with an appropriate schedule to reduce screen time. At this time, we provided this letter to District 158 and requested an IEP meeting. Assistant Superintendent Dr. Del Castillo, denied our request to allow for an IEP meeting, which is a fundamental provision of special education law. Our attorney made repeated attempts for more than 2 weeks until a request was finally granted. In addition, as parents, we have a right to review our child's records and to obtain copies of these records upon request. We requested an electronic copy of Isabella's records on April 6, 2021, which was denied. On May 4, 2021, we requested a complete copy of her records in print. This request was dismissed by Mrs. Wadden until 2 p.m. today, this afternoon. Mrs. Wadden's acknowledgement of this request came one day after we informed Dr. Superintendent Scott Rowe that we wish to provide a public statement to the board. Adding insult to injury, the evaluation and observation process per mediation agreement has been the most painful and difficult experience our family has faced. After being vaccinated, we decided that Isabella should go back to school in person in April 30th, 2021. Our attorney provided evaluators' names and dates of observation since April 16th, 2021. Dr. Del Castillo did not respond nor approve the evaluations until May 7th, 1 hour after we filed due process. The district has used delay tactics to stall the evaluation process, but not making us aware that the evaluators would need background checks prior to their school observations until 2 days before the scheduled date for observations. Lastly, when District 158 requested us to provide medical documentation for our daughter's headaches and auditory fatigue during remote learning, we took Isabella to 2 ENTs and received an audiological evaluation on February 18th, 2021. We brought the audiology report to the IEP meeting on March 4th, 2021. The report stated that Isabella's hearing loss had worsened. The results indicated that when a person uses a soft voice in a noisy environment, Isabella only hears 4%. This is one of our greatest concerns, because this means that when Isabella is in the school playground, hallways, gym class, or lunchroom, where she's not able to wear her DM unit, Isabella only hears 4%. This presents a serious safety concern for us as a family. We communicated this information during the IEP meeting on March 4th, 2021. District 158's attorney, Mr. Luis Rodriguez, indicated to audiologist Dr. Toretkin that the purpose of the meeting was not to talk about Isabella's IEP, but rather to talk and focus on Isabella's new schedule. Isabella has been attending school in person since April 29th, 2021. So far, District 158 hasn't done anything to address Isabella's audiological needs, reflected in the latest audiological report of March 18th, 2021. In closing, we have experienced from our perspective, in our experience, abuse of power, and various violations of a right under IDEA on behalf of District 158 through Dr. Del Castillo, Mrs. Sue Wannon, and Superintendent Dr. Scott Rowe, who is fully aware of our challenges and difficulties with the special education department. We have spent an unreasonable amount of resources to provide our daughter Isabella with minimum related services under state put and to be able to allow the district to comply with the mediation agreement. This has been the most unjust experience our family has ever gone through.
I need to say a few words. Well, Isabella may be meeting standards in school.
I did fail to mention, we normally try to keep it to 3 minutes, so.
Yeah,
give you some latitude
this
for a
will
couple
be just
minutes.
2 minutes,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Well, Isabella may be meeting standards in school. She's working extra hard compared to her peers to achieve the level of performance. Legally, she's entitled to free and appropriate education. Faith, a general education program is not appropriate for Isabella due to significant hearing loss. Think of two ducks swimming along the pond. Both ducks are keeping the same pace on top of the water, but under the water, the one duck is paddling much faster to keep up with the duck friend. Bella is paddling much faster under the water and behind the scenes to keep up with her peers. This does not put her on the same playing field as her peers, and for this reason, a general education program taking away her IEP is not appropriate.
As a former law enforcement for nearly 13 years, it is heartbreaking and heart-wrenching to me. For so many years, I went into that field to be able to protect and serve the most vulnerable, the elderly, the children, and I wouldn't hesitate. To be able to give my life for somebody who I found in a situation of great need. It is heartbreaking to see our members in District 158 who have been entrusted with a position of power and authority to look after the needs, special needs of special children. Dear gentlemen and ladies, we're not here requesting for anything that our child doesn't need. We're not here to request for anything extraordinary or any special treatment that we believe our child wants. We're here to let you know that our child has great needs, vital needs, and sadly, District 158 has refused to allow expert evidence to reconsider. And to this day, our jobs have been affected like everybody else's. We've had to invest so much money into this legal process that has been drawn out, and we're still without a resolution. So thank you so much for listening to us tonight. And we hope that the justice and truth do prevail, and our daughter is able to get her services and support that she needs, so she can have a beautiful future like everybody else that was here celebrating is able to have. That's all we're asking.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, it brings us to item 7, revision and adoption of the agenda. First off, Ms. Lombard, do you have a report? Okay. Dr. Schlichter? No. Mr. Altmeyer? We'll take that as a no. Dr. Zier?
No.
Okay. Dr. Bazinski? Okay. And Dr. Del Castillo? Thank you. Dr. Rowe?
I do.
Okay. And I do not have anything for item 16 either. So with that, I will make a motion to adopt the agenda with the following changes, deleting items 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and 16. Do I have a second? Okay, motion and a second, all in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. That will bring us to item number 14, community relations and student outreach. One item on is our FOIA request. Any commentary or questions or anything else related to that? All right. Which would now bring us to 15, Dr. Rowe, Superintendent's report.
All right, thank you, Mr. Gentry. This evening, I want to update the board on some of the administrative activities of the last couple of weeks. This is as we did tonight, a lot of celebrating. It's been a wonderful few weeks in the school district, as this is the time of year. The last time we were together, we celebrated our retirees. District administration and I traveled around the buildings with the principals and had the opportunity to celebrate our employees and milestones throughout their career. Whether that be, I think we celebrated years of 10 years, 15, 20, 25, and even 30 while we were out around the buildings. It's one of my favorite traditions in our school district because in being such a school district, it gives us the opportunity to maintain our personal connections and spend a little bit of time with our employees to celebrate some of the milestones in their career, because so many of our employees do spend an entire career with us. Each year the numbers get bigger and bigger and bigger of the 15, 20, 25-year celebrations that we have, and it's truly one of the things that sets our school district apart. Secondly, last week we had the opportunity to celebrate some more with our Education Foundation. The Education Foundation held their annual banquet to honor our distinguished educator and distinguished employees of the year. So I'm very pleased to formally with the school board this evening celebrate from our Early Childhood Center the nominee Amy Britton and Sheetal Munshi. Amy being the Educator of the Year, Sheetal being the Employee of the Year. From Chesapeake, the Educator of the Year, Nicole Dindia, a self-contained teacher, and the nurse from Chesapeake, Nurse Deb Simboli. Martin, another self-contained teacher. You will pick up on a trend here when self-contained in our health experts. Jennifer Sladd in the self-contained classroom, and Heidi Fish, our nurse. And at Marlowe, Amy Tetrov, another self-contained teacher, and Jamie Stedman, one of the head or the principal secretary at Marlowe. At McCaven, a special education teacher and second-time nominee, Lisa Pontius, and then the secretary, Diana Marvin, as the Employee of the Year. At Conley, another second-time nominee, Catherine Vandy, and Dawn Rafati, nurse. At Heinemann, educator Lisa Franklin, special educator, and Tina Bajgrowitz, classroom aide. At Legee, Bridget Sessions, a speech and language pathologist, and Darcy Langenfeld. At the high school, Rochelle Hewlett, educator of the year, and Pablo Hernandez, another two-time nominee. And for district office, we celebrated Michael Kiefaver, one of the members of our technology department. And at the end of that evening, we were very, very excited to be able to celebrate and really crown, in an inside joke that ended up developing, our own COVID queen, Dawn Rafati, as the District 158 Distinguished Employee of the Year. Dawn, just to connect a couple of dots, worked very close with Jessica and I, and really maybe coordinated probably just over 51% at least, if not more, was majorly responsible for our vaccine clinics. Dawn was phenomenal. She took the reins and is a key contributor to the county health department. And then Lisa Franklin from Heinemann was named Educator of the Year by the Ed Foundation. It was a wonderful evening. Thanks to Paul and Melissa who were able to join us, and we had a great celebration. And then finally, our promotion and graduation season, our eighth grade promotions at Heinemann and Marlowe will be taking place at the high school next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday evening. And then obviously this Saturday is our graduation at the high school. Very excited that we're able to end our year with some semblance of normalcy and celebrate our students that are moving on to the next phases of their academic career or their life at graduation. So 3 ceremonies and hopefully beautiful weather Saturday. It's going to be warm, so be sure you prep for that. But that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, that'll bring us to item 17.1, legislative updates. Mr. Crotty, anything to enlighten us on?
Not too much. Couple items. House Bill 3223 is for additional services for students who are expectant parents or parent students who have experienced domestic sexual abuse. Some of the things they talk about is the burdens that placed on schools will be made for providing these services, and could require some legal actions. Senate Bill 654, this is one we talked about last week or 2 weeks ago. That was the hour of recess, which has been knocked down to 30 minutes of unsupervised recess through K through 5 instead of K through 8, but it would still lead to additional staff needed for this play. And then Senate Bill 818, we talked about this a little bit in the past. This is the K through 12 mandated sex ed. I don't know if you have a little bit more to go into on that, or.
Currently, sex education is mandated 6 through 12, and it's conducted in health class. It's locally controlled in terms of the content of that. This bill is a pretty dramatic step forward in terms of the mandate on sex education. Lines are being drawn on party lines in Springfield for the vote, but lines are also being drawn in terms of your religious and political beliefs in the community. That we should expect this to be a very hot topic in our community if and when we have to implement this. But my concern with this bill lies mostly with the time it's going to take to implement something like this. From staff training to what are we giving up in terms of teaching this at all levels in the district. I mean, think about our school day and how much we already have crammed in there. It's one more thing, and a controversial topic at that, at some of our lower levels, to have to push some of these topics in. The content is not as much the concern as it is the time, the money, and the resources we're going to have to devote to this. I believe a topic like this, especially as inflammatory as this one has been around the state, is best left up to local decision makers to determine what's best for their schools. It's an overreach, in my opinion, by Springfield. So if we've contacted our legislatures, I filled out a witness slip in opposition of this bill, and my purpose in doing so centers around the time and what it's going to interfere with. Reading and math is our absolute priority, as well as the other academic and opportunities we provide our students, and I think this is going to interfere, much like the playtime bill is going to do so.
Any other legislative?
All right, thank you. Which brings us to item 18, consent agenda. Is there any deletions to be, or items to be taken off consent agenda from anyone? Okay. With that, I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as outlined in outlined in item 18.
Second.
Motion and a second. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mrs. Iarino.
Yes.
Mr. Praddy.
Yes.
Mr. Troy.
Yes.
Mrs. Melendi.
Yes.
Mr. Guerin.
Yes.
Mr. Gentry.
Yes.
Mr. Quagliano.
Okay, motion passes. Brings us to item 19. First item up is 19.1, supplemental purchase orders. I will make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Okay, motion and a second. Any discussion or questions? If not, can I have a roll call, please?
Mr. Praddy.
Yes.
Mr. Guerin.
Yes.
Mr. Gentry.
Yes.
Mrs. Melendi.
Yes.
Mrs. Maiorino.
Yes.
Mr. Quagliano. Mr. Troy.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes, brings us to item 19.2, membership renewals with the IASP and LUDA for the 2021-2022 academic year. Anything to add on these, Dr. Rowe? Fairly routine.
Now, they are fairly routine. Obviously, the school board reaps great benefit from membership in IASB, and we remain very active with LUDA. It's the primary source for our political advocacy in Springfield in partnership with IASA, but LUDA is a really good one for us.
Okay. With that, I will make a motion to approve both of those memberships as outlined in the agenda.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any questions? Okay. If not, have a roll call, please.
Mrs. Maiorino.
Yes.
Mr. Craddy.
Yes.
Mr. Troy.
Yes.
Mrs. Melendi.
Yes.
Mr. Guerin.
Yes.
Mr. Quagliano. Mr. Gentry.
Yes. Okay,
Mr.
motion.
Gentry, if I could, before you move to adjournment, I'd like to invite Ms. Alex Lemoyne up to the podium. We just approved Alex's employment, Ms. Lemoyne's employment with the school district. She will be our new Director of Communications starting on July 1st. So congratulations and welcome.
Thank you so much. Good evening, board. Thank you so much for
The
having me.
green light on, Alex? There's a button at the bottom. There you go.
There we go.
Perfect. Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you so much for having me here tonight. It's exciting to meet you all. I'm incredibly excited at the opportunity to join the District 158 team. Just in the short time that I've been able to become acclimated to the community in Huntley, it's clear what a dedicated and capable staff you have. So I'm very excited to work alongside all of them and you all and get to know you a little bit better. So thank you again. I'm very grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
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 Okay, with that, we will move to item 20, which is adjournment. I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:55 p.m.
Second.
Motion in a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you.